Welcome back. It's Tuesday. You all know what that means. It's time for our weekly minor league update for the San Francisco Giants minor league system. This is going to be for the dates of June 10th through June 16th. Got a lot of exciting things that happened last week. I know we've had quite a few weeks where it felt like there were only kind of a few good things mixed in. Not the case this week. We had a lot of good action. Lots of big time prospects that had big time performances down there. And a lot of guys that are kind of lower down on their top 30 lists that had really solid weeks. Still some struggles. You'll see there's still some bad news mixed in there. But as a whole, it felt like it was a really good week for the Giants farm system and a lot of their top guys. There's also, this season, I know a lot of people feel like it's been a big disappointment for their minor league system. I think a lot of that has to do with when you look at their top 30 list and you look at their top 5 guys, really Eldridge is the only one that's either like met or exceeded expectations amongst Giants fans. You have guys like Carson Wisenhunt and Marco Luciano. Those are their number 1 and 2 that are, they're kind of struggling. They're playing, which is good, but they've been not dominating AAA. And I think that's kind of put a damper on things for a lot of people. Also, their number 4 and 5, Walker Martin and Rainer Arias, they had injuries and they didn't get going until way late. So when you're top 5, only one guy is really playing and playing well. That kind of puts a sour taste in your mouth. Now, they've had a lot of good going down the list and a lot of players that have stepped up, some big promotions that have already taken place. So we're going to kind of run through the mostly good, the little bit of bad, and, kind of the unfortunate, ugly, whatever you want to call the rest of it. So starting off with the AAA affiliate, Sacramento River Cats. Number 1 prospect, Marco Luciano. He just came back from injury. And if I have said it once, I've said it like 100 times on this show. When he comes back from injuries, he is just a strikeout machine. It's what he is. It happens every single time. It has happened every time in his career going back to when he first came up. It's like when he first gets going for the season or if he comes back for an injury, he strikes out a ton. This week, no different. 3 for 20, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. So, hopefully he gets going here soon. Just don't be shocked, everybody, if we see his bat just fall off a cliff. I know Dan and I especially have been advocating if you can flip him and, possibly Wisenhunt or someone else to go get a guy like Bo Bichette. I think that'd be a great deal to do, especially because I don't have faith in the Giants to figure out where to play him. I don't. This team, he's playing second base right now. That's a good sign. They're trying him at different positions. I still think he's better suited to go play first base or left field or something along those lines. They don't seem to agree, and they're the ones paid to do it. I'm just here talking about it. So, number 2 prospect, Carson Wisenhunt. He's had a few good starts in a row and had something happen. The first time in the season that this has happened for any Giants pitcher that I'm really happy. But 5 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Really solid outing for playing in Reno. Keep in mind that's like the Coors Field of of the minor leagues. But he threw 90 pitches and 59 for strikes. That's a really good rate. That's a good pitch count. I mean, I've harped on how slowly they bring their arms along every week, it feels like, and they let him go 90, which is a really nice sign. So he's building up. Still would like to see him just be a tiny bit more efficient. He hasn't been able to get through 6 innings yet. Would be nice if he could. But changeup was working for him as usual. Fastball was looking pretty live. The shape wasn't great, but I mean, again, it's in Reno, so you take it with a grain of salt. But overall, really good outing from him. Number 6 prospect, Hayden Birdsong, made his AAA debut. Welcome to AAA. Go pitch in Reno. Good luck. He threw 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. His fastball hit 99 miles an hour multiple times in the game. Definitely seemed a little bit amped up. Similar to Wisenhunt, fastball shape wasn't phenomenal, but that's kind of to be expected. He was amped and it's at elevation, not a great combination. But he looked really good, but he also looked a little bit amped up and started off hot, got through 2 innings scoreless, and then gave up a couple in the 3rd and then another in the 4th. And Pitch count ran up there a little bit, 77 pitches, 52 for strikes. So wasn't very efficient. So they ended up pulling him after 4. But excited to see what he does going forward. He might be the arm I'm most excited in the system. I mean, it's always great to have a dominant left-handed pitcher, and I mean those are typically more valuable because there's less of them. But Hayden Birdsong, I still think he's got the best stuff overall in the system. Whisenhunt's more reliant on his changeup. He has one truly elite pitch. Birdsong has 3 well above average pitches. Maybe not elite, but I think some of them, I think especially his splitter and his curveball might end up being elite. And I mean, he throws 98, 99 miles an hour. I mean, he usually cruises in 96, 98 range. So the fastball plays really well. Now kind of the ugly number 7 prospect, Mason Black, 1 1/3 innings, 6 earned runs, 8 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts. He got lit up. He's been getting lit up. I don't know if maybe they're working on something. I haven't noticed really anything in particular that stands out, but he's struggling to throw strikes at times. He's falling behind hitters. This one, he actually threw quite a bit of strikes. He just got lit up. I mean, his location isn't great, leaving a lot of kind of low 90s fastballs up in the zone. You go playing a guy in a place like Reno, like that's going to get hit a long ways. So, kind of an ugly one for him. Also on the ugly, number 8 prospect, Reggie Crawford. He got placed on the 7-day IL, undisclosed injury. His velocity was down the last time he was out, June 5th. I don't know how many of you remember. I mentioned he threw an inning. After the first hitter, the training staff all came out and looked at him, and he finished the inning, and then he hadn't pitched since then. So I don't know what the injury is, unfortunately. Hopefully it's not, arm, elbow, whatever. He's already had Tommy John once, so I don't want to really go down that road, but hopefully it's nothing insane like that because his arm has looked explosive and really good this season. Number 13 prospect, Grant McCray, he made his AAA debut this week. Had a really solid week, 7 for 25, a home run, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, and 3 stolen bases. I've harped on the fact that he has not been stealing bags, and that's been concerning to me. He stole 3 bags this week, so that's really good to see. Hopefully, now that he's in AAA, he starts using his legs a little bit more. I think with the robo umps and the challenge system there, he has fairly good plate discipline. He has a lot of swing and miss, kind of like what we're watching with Ramos right now, where he doesn't necessarily chase a ton, but he still swings and misses at a ton of balls in the zone. So we'll see kind of how he does overall. But the home run he hit just a freaking mile. It was like 440 feet to straightaway right field. That probably would have been in the Cove in San Francisco. And yes, at Reno, it adds like 10% to your batted balls. It usually carries like 10% farther because of the thinner air. So just something to keep in mind. But even if you take 10% off that, it's still a 400-foot shot. It's a straightaway right. I mean, that's going to leave basically every park in the country. So number 17 prospect, Carson Seymour, 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 2 hits, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, 77 pitches, 51 for strikes. He was super efficient, 3 strikes, fastball, curveball looked good. That was the best outing at Reno I've seen from probably any Giants starting pitcher this season. So hats off to you, Carson. That was a really good one. Nice to see he's strung together a couple good weeks in a row. I don't think he's a guy that's really a threat to get called up this season. But he could pitch his way into their plans in the next year or two, or he could end up turning into a nice trade piece. I mean, he's a guy that's probably going to go up their rankings a little bit because there's a few guys in front of them that have kind of, fallen off a cliff this year. Number 22 prospect, Kaiwei Tang. I mean, he's just not good this season. 4 innings pitched, 600 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Continues his streak of multiple runs allowed in every outing of the season at any level. Now, on to the guys that are unranked that, whether they have played up in the Giants big league club or, former top guys that I think can contribute in the future, or in Hunter Bishop's case, just a guy I really, really am rooting for, and, former top prospect that is finally healthy. So Hunter Bishop, 5 for 20, a home run to left center. It was a really impressive shot. A double, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He also had a single where he got thrown out at second base that was 109 miles per hour off the bat, and it hit the fence, went right back to the right fielder, and he got thrown out at second. I mean, that's how hard he hit it. So, unfortunate, but Uh, Overall, solid week. I mean, when you get on base, 10 out of 25 plate appearances, um, and put one over the fence and swipe it back. I mean, that's a really good week. So he's continued to just play really solid in AAA. He's hitting 300 in sack, has like a 900 OPS. I mean, he's playing really well. So good for him. I don't think he's going to make the club at any point this season unless the floor just falls out from under the team in a month or two, which with how horrible the NL is, I just don't see that happening. Even when the Giants are just hanging around 500, that means you're right there in the race. So they're not going to be selling off that much. Regardless of whether or not we think they maybe should, they're not going to. So, but I do think he can play his way into their possible 2025 plans. Luis Matos, I mean, you guys are going to see the highlights. This is just a home run derby. Uh, but now the one thing with him that I'm going to get into in a second is a lot of people were talking about how, it's in Reno, it's the thinner air, yada yada. So I'm going to address that in a second. But his numbers for the week: 13 for 28, 5 home runs, 6 doubles, 2 walks, no strikeouts, and a stolen base. I mean, that's the best week any player has had at any level in the Giant system this season. That is massive. Now, that said, 2 of the 5 home runs, absolute no doubters. They went 430 and 442 feet. They're leaving even Oracle, because even if you take 10% off and you look at park dimensions and things like that, I mean, there's still going to be 10 plus rows up in the bleachers. Cool. He hit one to right field. It was a line drive home run, only went like 368 feet. It's only like 95 miles an hour off the bat. Maybe that's an out. Maybe it's a double. I mean, it might, because it was right down the right field line, basically. It might have just gone off the base of the fence or off the, midway up the fence. He hit another one that was only like 97 miles per hour off the bat, probably a fly out in Oracle. And then he hit one yesterday that went 400 feet, but it was only like, again, like 97 miles an hour off the bat, 95. But with the launch and, it depends on the wind, it's things like that. So even if you take away 3 of the home runs, which I still think one of them probably sneaks out, even at Oracle Park and a lot of parks, but even if you take away 3 of those home runs, he had 6 doubles and he didn't strike out. Like, he had a massive week. So I don't like seeing people dismissing his week when they are just looking at purely the home runs. It's like the dude had an enormous week, and no one here thinks he's going to be a 30, 40 home run guy in San Francisco. He should be a doubles hitter in San Francisco. And that's what's encouraging. He had a lot of line drives. He punished pitches that guys hung. He actually hit a couple of the more good pitches that he put out. The one that he hit to right field was a fastball in the outside corner that he went with. The one of them was a high fastball. It looked like it might even been a little bit above the zone, so it wasn't a bad pitch, and he punished it. So it's just, he had a really good week at the plate. He's recovered his average in AAA. I mean, we all saw how bad it was earlier in the year. It's up to like 259-ish right now. He's got an 815 OPS in AAA, which, I mean, it's probably going to be right around league average, but considering where it had been, the jump he made this week to get it back to that is mighty impressive. So good for him. Hopefully he's sending a message that he really should be up. Now, granted, guys like Austin Slater are playing well. Yaz continues to play pretty well. He had a big game yesterday in their win. Conforto struggling a ton, but he is coming off the injury. You'd imagine at some point he gets going. So I'm not sure how they're going to make it happen, but at some point, you guys all know how I feel. You got to make some moves that not necessarily just for today, but also for the future. Especially because I don't feel like we should be chasing 84 wins or 83 wins in a wild card. I think that's pathetic, personally. I mean, the league is so watered down. I mean, make moves that you're trying to make to give yourself the best chance to be a 90 win team every year going forward. And if Luis Matos hits his potential, that's a guy that could help you with that. You're not doing it with Austin Slater and Mike Yastrzemski. Sorry. So, rant over. Next would be Tyler Fitzgerald had a solid week. I mean, 6 for 24, home run, a double, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Still strikes out too much, but the home run was an inside the Parker. Pretty exciting. Hit it off the fence in left center field, kicked away from the center fielder, pretty far. You guys are seeing, probably watching the highlight here. And he just hauled around the bases. So he's got good speed. So it was really it was an exciting play. Led off the game that way too. And then Luis Matos hit a home run right behind him. So they went back to back to open up one of the games. Juan Sanchez pitched in 2 games, 3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, a hit, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. Had a rough week, but again, it's Reno. It's a hard place to pitch, so they're not all going to be good ones. All right, now on to Richmond. Oh, and I'm sorry, they went 3-3 versus Reno. The River Cats did. They are now 42-27 on the season, so pretty impressive. And they've got guys like Casey Schmidt going back down there, so that might be one of the best AAA rosters in the majors, which says something because Giants AAA teams have been pretty bad for quite a while. Moving on to the Richmond Flying Squirrels. They went 4-2 at New Hampshire. They're 30-33 on the season. It's going to start off on a bad note. They're now their best prospect is their number 15 prospect, Von Brown, who got sent to the development list. So he's going down to Arizona to get right because, I mean, as you all have seen and heard me say, he's been awful this season. And I don't like to talk about guys like that, but he's been really bad. He strikes out like 50% of the time. And it's just, you're not going to last in the league doing that. And he's about 26 years old. You know, he's on the older side. So that's not a guy that you're going to stick with super long if that's how they're going to play. So hopefully he can get right. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's physical. I don't know what's going on. He had the flu earlier in the year. So time will tell for him. Number 19 prospect, Victor Barracoto, 6 for 23, a home run, a double, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. He's been kind of slowly improving as the year's gone, as it's heated up. He's starting to heat up a little bit. Not a massive week by any stretch, but a solid week nonetheless. And, his OPS and average are kind of slowly going up. He is one of the guys with some of the better power in the system. So it's nice to see him starting to tap into that a little bit, especially the last month. Number 23 prospect, Adrian Sugiste. Not a great week, 3 for 17, triple-double, walk, and 5 strikeouts. Number 26 prospect, Jairo Pomares. Now, you want to talk about guys that have some of the best power in the system. It kind of goes like Eldridge. Luciano's up there, though he's not showing game power this season, unfortunately. And then you have guys with really good raw power like Hunter Bishop and stuff like that. But Jairo Pomares is like right up there. He's got 60 grade power. It shows. Had a huge week. He hits the ball really hard when he makes contact. I mean, I feel like I say that about a lot of the guys in the system. It's when they barrel it's pretty special to watch. But a lot of swing and miss in the system. But Jairo Pomares had a huge week. 9 for 22, 3 home runs, 2 doubles, a walk, 5 strikeouts. This is a guy that missed all of last season with an injury. He was a pretty exciting prospect back when he was in the Cal League playing for San Jose. Had some good moments in high A ball, but it, kind of he struggled a little bit and then he got hurt and missed a whole season. So he's 23 now, still playing pretty well, and his OPS is up around 800 now in the Eastern League, which is really impressive. So, hats off to him. Had a huge week. Hopefully he keeps it up because, like I said, he's got pretty special, when he makes contact, it's pretty special, like pretty special exit velocities and things like that. So, good for him. Number 29 prospect, Carson Ragsdale. Now, this is a guy that we haven't talked about a ton. His fastball runs kind of mid-90s, has a really good breaking ball, and he's kind of been up and down a little bit this season, but this week it was a really big up for him. Definitely the best week I think he's had as a pro, or at least recently. Pitched in 2 games. Now, this was really good. First game, 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Through 85 pitches, 81 for strikes. His second outing, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs, 1 hit, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Through 80 pitches, 54 for strikes. He was awesome this week. So I really wanted to give him a shout out. Had a big week. Hadn't really put any of his highlights up on previous episodes. He had been kind of just sitting around with a 4 ERA, which quite frankly in the Eastern League is not anything great. It dropped down to about 3.69. I think he's 24 right now, so he's a little bit on the older side for that level. but he's being really successful in Double A. I mean, he's having a good year, and hopefully he just continues on that trend. Has kind of a weird delivery, so he's a little bit deceptive there, and we'll see kind of how he does as he progresses. Moving on to Eugene, they had their worst week of the season, 1-5 versus Everett. They're 31-30 on the season. Not a ton to talk about there, but we're going to run through it really quick. Number 18 prospect Diego Velasquez, 8 for 21, a double, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Number 24 prospect O'Neal Perez is finally off the schneid. He went 10 for 18, a double, a triple, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, 2 stolen bases. You guys are going to see on the triple just how athletic he is for kind of a big guy. I don't know about you guys. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Pablo Sandoval, just the way he moves for a larger guy. But it was pretty fun to watch. Quinn McDaniel, 8 for 21, a home run, a triple, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, and a stolen base. He's kind of slowly coming out of his funk that he's been in. Will Bednar pitched in 2 games, 3.1 innings, 2 earned runs, a hit, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. They've been kind of trying to limit him to about 2 innings an outing. So, number 12 prospect Trevor McDonald pitched in 2 games. They've been using him 3 innings at a time. Made 2 starts, 6 innings total pitched, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts. Explosive fastball, explosive slider. They added him to the 40-man this offseason to protect him from getting selected in the Rule 5 draft. You can see why when he pitches. That said, he is coming off an injury. He's in high A. We'll see how they advance him. Now we're moving on over to San Jose. 4-2 versus Inland Empire. They're now 35-27 on the season. Guys are starting to get healthy again over there, which is nice to see. Number 3 prospect Bryce Eldridge, 6 for 20, 2 home runs, 3 doubles, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. 2 home runs and a double came in 1 game. And it was one of the most impressive displays of full field power I've seen in a while. Started off the game, boom, home run down the left field line. Next up comes up, hits a double into left center field gap. Then the last at bat, absolutely destroys a ball to right center field. I mean, that is the kind of guy that this is why I would never move Bryce Eldridge in any trade this season. Like, it pretty much doesn't matter who, because for a team that has not prioritized power, they have the kind of left-handed hitter in their system right now, which is exactly what you need to play an Oracle as a lefty. If you can hit balls out to all fields, foul pole to foul pole, you can play as a lefty. That's why Juan Soto could be so successful there. And that's why I'm so high on a guy like Bryce Eldridge, where he shows it all the time. And he's 19. His body hasn't matured. He could easily put on 20, 30 more pounds of muscle and in a few years and be like a 40 home run guy. So, yes, do not move Bryce Eldridge. I think he's going to be special. I think he's going to be maybe a top 10 prospect in all of baseball within a year or two. That's just my opinion on him. Number 10 prospect Joe Whitman had one of his better outings of the season. 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, 61 pitches, 44 for strikes. Super efficient. Slider looked really good. Fastball looked really good. He also has a pretty nice changeup. Didn't feature it as much. He mostly relied on the slider and fastball, but he was really, really, really solid in his outing. Number 25 prospect Cole Foster, 4 for 21. A home run, double, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. He's starting to swing it a little bit. Still not a great week, but did put one over the fence, which was good to see. Number 27 prospect Jonah Cox. Get this guy up to high A, please. He's 22 years old, going to be 23 in August. 7 for 19, a home run, a double, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts, 5 stolen bases. He has 38 stolen bases on the season. He looks really good defensively in center field. I can't put a lot of stock on older players playing in the Cal League, though. So let's get him up to high A and see what we have, because he's just dominating that level. Number 28 prospect, Josh Bostic, 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 2 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts through 78 pitches, 47 for strikes. Now moving over really quick to the Complex League. Number 4 prospect, Walker Martin, still playing there. 4 for 18, a double, 4 walks, 8 strikeouts. Hopefully he can start cutting the Ks back a little bit because that's been the one kind of boo-boo on him in the ACL at the moment. But, he hadn't played competitive ball in almost a year. So I am giving him a longer leash. Hopefully he gets going, though, in full season ball soon. Number 9 prospect, Maui Ahuna, 7 for 19, 2 home runs, a double, 7 strikeouts. And then he's rehabbing. He'll probably be in San Jose before too long because he's playing really well already in the ACL. And then Ryan Reckley is the last one I want to talk about. 3 for 7, 4 walks on the week. He also yesterday hit a home run and a triple, I think, in the game with 4 RBIs. He's got like an 1167 OPS down there or something along those lines. He is a guy that everyone kind of already gave up on. He's only 19. It's good to see him playing really well. Hopefully they get him up to full season ball soon. And you're not the number 9 international prospect if you don't have some tools. So let's just see what happens with him. And then this wasn't last week, but I'm just going to mention it. Rainer Arias is finally playing. He made his debut yesterday, went 1 for 2 with a walk, and an RBI. So we'll see how he does. I'm excited to watch, or to see how he does in the ACL. But it's exciting that he's finally playing. So as always, I appreciate all your support. Thanks for tuning in today. If you're not already subscribed, if you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, I really appreciate it. Like the video. Tell me your guys' thoughts. Tell me if there's any guys you want me to try and touch on in the future and get my thoughts on. So I appreciate all you guys. And hopefully they can get another win today. Take the series. Losing to the Angels left a sour taste, but we'll kind of see how they do. Other than that, go Giants, and I'll catch you all next time.